so much happened, and a lot of people gained that experience that they wouldn't have got anywhere else. And, you know, we putting people in positions to win. And I feel like, like we said, like, I think your purpose in life should be something that gives value to the world and others. And I feel like that's what the hell is doing. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
If anything, I know I'm doing good in this world and just doing good to others. So
can't be mad at that.
Tell me nothing. For real.
Right, what's up, my people? We're checking in here today with another episode of Inside the Vibe. I'm Yoru, and our guest today is a director, writer, producer, and co-creator of WTH Studios, formerly known as Manville TV. I give you Brandon.
What's good? How y'all living?
Doing well, Brody. So how you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Very grateful that you had me on here. That you think I'm important enough to be on here.
And I got you're doing some great work, and I feel like it's time to have a conversation, let the people know what's next for WTH.
Yeah, man.
For sure. So before we get into the questions, we're gonna do. Well, first, how you said you're feeling good today. I guess what I want to ask is, what's your energy like right now? Like today, how you feeling?
I think my energy is I'm in good spirits. I think I'm a really big energy guy, so it's a coincidence that you said that. Like, I feel like I'm in a really good space in life. Everything isn't perfect, but I just feel like I'm living in my purpose, and I think like I'm on the path that God is like what He wants me to, the path that He wants me to be on. I feel like I'm on that, and I feel like the energy that's around me from like my family, my community, my people, my team, I think it's just so much great energy, and I think like it's helping me maintain a positive mindset and just stay in good spirits. You feel me?
That's great. Being in your purpose will definitely make you feel grounded and centered. And like you said, it's not perfect, but waking up every morning and working towards whatever our destination is what makes life worth living.
Exactly.
So before we get into these questions, I have a few questions for you. What's your favorite is the name of the game, but brought to you by our in-house thing we like to call Set the Flow. Start the show, kind of get the juices rolling, pause, and make sure everybody's, just comfortable.
Let's get it.
So first thing I'll ask you is, what is your favorite album?
My favorite album, man.
Yeah, doesn't have to be best or all time, just maybe your favorite album of the month or of the year.
Of the month?
Or like what you listen to right now.
Definitely listen to a lot of stuff. Whenever somebody asks me what song, what's your favorite song, or it's kind of tough because it's so much to choose from.
I can't answer favorites either, to be honest.
But I would say right now I'm really rocking with I say G and X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always go back to that song. I feel like that project is
solid.
It's very solid. A lot of replay value. Mm-hmm. Besides Whacked Out Murals and all of the other like GNX, and even Peekaboo. Like there's a lot of
I love Peekaboo.
I wouldn't call it deep cuts, but like B-sides on that project that I still go back to. So I'm not mad at that answer at all. Yeah. Favorite artist.
My top favorite artist. It's so many. Yo, all right. This past year, a lot, like, we saw a lot when it came to, like, hip-hop.
Yeah, we did.
And Drake my favorite artist.
Nothing wrong with that.
But, like, this past year in hip-hop was insane. Like, I feel like Kendrick surpassed him. It was always, like, a in-between, like, Drake or Kendrick, like, who's the GOAT? And I feel like we literally saw the GOATs go head-to-head, and, like, I look at, like, War and stuff like that. Kendrick, like,
yeah, it was methodical, surgical. And I think when people bring numbers and streams, like, that's cool, but we're talking about content of music, delivery of music, and the beef. And Drake is still Drake. You can't take away the most hits ever, more slaps than the Beatles, all that great stuff. That's in stone. But you went up against another monster, and you looked human. Mm-hmm. So, to me, this year, it showed the separation between them, but it doesn't take away from Drake's legacy.
It don't take it away.
It just means there's certain names you can't call. His name is one of them. Yeah. And it doesn't mean Drake's music is less, like, obviously he still has more listeners.
And he still is top. He's he's still top 5.
Yeah, but I think this conversation to me ended. He can't be the GOAT.
He can't be the GOAT.
He can't be the GOAT. Like that conversation of him and Jay-Z, that conversation ended. It ended this year. So I think that's I'm not mad at that. And I still listen to both of them. I listened to both of them through the beef. So I wasn't someone who thought I had to choose. I'm not in OVO or TDE camp. So I have the luxury of listening to great music all the time.
I do like Not Like Us and Family Matters. Those are two I love those.
I'm a Euphoria guy.
Euphoria is hard.
But I think Family Matters is so interesting because I think if Family Matters was dropped and Meet the Grams never happened, the beef is a lot closer. And Drake and Kendrick would have had to have potentially listened to Heart Part 6 like to actually respond. Yeah. But Meet the Grams it siphoned the power out of Family Matters because Family Matters is a great song. I still listen to it. So for sure. Favorite job?
Favorite job I've ever worked?
Yeah.
My favorite job I ever worked. I had my jobs before college. After college, I say my favorite job was BET.
Smooth. Okay.
For sure.
I feel like there's a lot of energy history there. There's a lot of cool events. You probably were a part of that.
It was dope. It was dope.
That's smooth. Let's say favorite movie.
Favorite movie? Man, I got a lot of favorite movies, but even just off the top of the dome, I always got to go to Friday. I feel like Friday, it's just that that reference, even going into making movies, I look at Friday as just it's nothing too crazy, but it's a masterpiece in the simplicity of it and just the camaraderie between buddies.
It's also one of them cultural reset movies. I think people reference Friday and movies after it. It showed a lot of our black, quote unquote, black excellence. A very pivotal point in their careers, like Terry Crews, Cat Williams. Well, I guess it depends on which one you're referencing, but even Ice Cube, it showed us in a different light. I think that kind of started his trajectory from rapper, thug to on the cinematic side. Yeah. Whereas people born today who never knew who Ice Cube was back in the day.
That's crazy.
Which is, it's almost like the same with Snoop. People see Snoop as the most marketable rapper, maybe the most famous one, but it's this guy had a whole different life where he was really, for lack of a better term, in the field. So next up is favorite project you've ever worked on.
My favorite project I've ever worked on, man. Oh, man. Definitely my projects. Man, I think I love what I'm doing now. This is definitely my favorite. I think my first projects was just something special about when I was doing Manville TV. It was that was just a time in my life where a lot of things were just changing, and also a time where it was just fun. You used to see us out there.
Yeah. It was almost I feel it was the beginning of the era of what we see now with TikTok and what was the other one that isn't anymore? Vine. Yeah. That kind of in your face street interviews, but not really. Just in the media is the people. And I think the era we're in now is the media is the people, where the older guard was you kind of had to be syndicated, stamped, proven to get into the media space. I feel we grew up in that ushered in the new media regime, and Manville TV, especially in our area, was definitely a part of that.
Appreciate it.
What would you say favorite snack?
Favorite snack, man. Man, I can't be eating these like that. I cut out my sugars. But, gummy worms, man. Sour joints.
I can't eat those anymore either. But they used to back in the day.
Go crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't pause, but it was an unfortunate snack because it was extremely unhealthy. But when I was younger, you could just eat anything. Your body was just he'll do it. He'll deal with it later.
Facts.
Last one I have for you is favorite song you listened to in college.
Favorite song I listened to in college, man. That's crazy. That's Definitely a Drake one. Yeah. Because Drake was killing it during that time.
Absolutely.
Something off of if you're reading this, it's too late. Man, running through the streets with my woes, because he was really running through the campus with my woes.
Nothing was the same. What was that other project? Views as well.
I liked. I would also say, what's that song? I just been drinking on and on.
Mobbing on the low. Yeah.
Furthest thing.
Yeah. That was my shit. I like when Drake gets into that flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old guy, he doesn't. He don't do that no more. But hey, we all gotta evolve someday. So yeah, that's all. That wraps up Set the Flow for us. Kind of set the tone. So let's get into this conversation. You referenced Manville TV, and now Manville TV is WTH Studios. Mm-hmm. What would you say was your favorite lesson you learned from building Manville TV into what it was and what it is now?
Man, I think I learned a lot of lessons. I think it's a lot. It was really a lot. I think starting off, I just the first episode, I shot it on my phone.
Really?
And I was like, so one thing, my boy John, like, I always credit him for saying this, but, you know, I was like, yo, we should start recording ourselves and making funny videos. And he was like, yo, if we're gonna do this, we can't be no like 15-second. Like, you can't curse on here?
You can curse.
I'm gonna go crazy, but he's like, we can't be no 15-second niggas. Like, we gotta make a movie. So like, that's when I just picked up my phone and just like, we shot like a day that we had, and it was lit. And then I was just like, I edited it, and I was like, oh, this could be something. Like, it was fire. So, you know, that went on to me buying a camera, and then you know, I didn't know what I was doing. I just got in the field and just started shooting, just making episodes, and we were just going around, just like, we were young, we didn't know what we was doing, but we was just creating content.
I think that point of creating is so cool when you're just starting, because it's like there's so many worlds where you can go. Mm-hmm. You're in the rawest form of you're creating, because like you said, it can go anywhere. Yeah. And so you're too young to know better. You have all this energy, this passion, and you just, I'm going to try something, see what happens, see what we create, and you created Manville TV. Yeah. So that's dope.
And I will also say, I also learned, like, just having a vision for something or an idea and just making it come reality. And also just, like, I also learned a lot about business and, like, how to build a brand. But I feel like most importantly, like, I learned how to be a leader. Like, you know, I think one constant I feel like was always, one thing that I took throughout my later years is like regardless of whatever happens or whatever, like, the constant is me. Yeah. And like, I gotta push this. No matter what happens, I have to push this. And I think like that's even what's taking me right now. Like, I got a full team and everything, but I think mentally I have to just keep yourself in the driver's seat, and you move this. So I think that was another really big lesson I learned during that time.
I was saying it earlier to the guys where I always say, if I fail, I want the reason I failed to be me. So I want everything else to be so I don't have any excuses. Meaning I'm always going to behave as if it failed because of me. My goal, the way my envision, my intention is, if something went wrong, it's because I didn't do my job better. Mm-hmm. And even whether that's the truth or not, that mindset will always push you to greater heights than you thought capable, because accountability. You're making sure the buck always stops with you. So you could be regardless of the other parts. They show up or not, mm-hmm. I'm still clocking in. Yeah. And I think, you know, that's a lesson you learn, I feel like, as a man, but also when you have something that's your own, it's definitely something you learn to embrace, because you go as far as you will push yourself. Exactly. So now Manville TV is WTH Studios. How did that come about, and what does that mean to you?
Well, I think it came about, you know, when we shot the first short film, What the Hell? What the Hell is like a baby of Manville. Like, you feel me? Like, it was birthed through like what we just had, and like, it came about like when we started the festival, and we were like, oh wow, like What the Hell is becoming like a brand, and you know, and I think it was just time to just, you know, rebrand it. I wanted something just to rebrand myself. I felt like, you know, Manville, like, this joint on the chain, bro. Like, you feel me? This joint forever. Like, my homies getting Manville chains. When we up, all my homies getting those. You feel me?
They were there from the beginning, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and I think like it was just about time to just rebrand myself and rebrand what we had. Like, because, you know, it wasn't just Manville anymore. Like, it was everybody that came together to do What the Hell. Like, we are WTH Studios, and I just felt like it was time to just, you know, this is the brand. So, and I think on the business side, it just made more sense.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting just the intention and perseverance, because that was almost 10 years ago. Maybe at this point it's beyond that, but to have something, treasure it, cultivate it, and allow it to keep growing, even when you may not see the output in the moment, I think takes a special person. So to allow that Manville to become WTH is an accomplishment in itself. So I think you should definitely be proud of that, because that's not something everybody can do, to kind of rechange your face to suit the new vision, the new mission. So I think that's an amazing accomplishment to have under your belt. So I know you spoke to BET, and BET is a staple in our community, even though it may have, the representation of it, you know, people think what they think about it, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. It's part of the history of how we see ourselves in media. And yeah, it's the closest thing that in its inception, right? So at your time there, what did you learn about the media industry, and how have you applied that to WTH Studios?
So I would expand it more towards, like, I learned, because I was working in television since about 2016. Okay. So I worked at a couple different networks. I worked at A&E, Lifetime, VH1, MTV, and then most recently.
Okay, so it's BET. Beyond just BET.
Yeah.
So you can speak to all of those experiences.
And man, you learn, like, working corporate, you really know, like, what goes into, like, making a company, and there's so many different facets, like, you know, different teams. Like, you got your creative teams, and they only focus on making, like a brand creative team, they focus on making, like, the commercials and ads and marketing the company and its products and content. You got your consumer marketing side where they looking at the metrics. They looking at, oh, this audience, you got the 40-year-old white women and mothers who, like, watch Lifetime. You feel me? You might have, like, your other team that's focused on, like, events and, like, activations. And you got a team that's focused on just taking care of talent and keeping talent happy. Because, you know, talent, they going to do whatever they want to do.
Yes, they are.
But you gotta, you know, it's a certain professionalism that comes to this side of, like, entertainment and media. So I think I learned just how a company works and how to present myself and be professional. But I want to speak to specifically BET. BET changed my life. Like, it was during the pandemic. I was out of a job for a bit. I had got laid off during the pandemic, It was kind of crazy. But, you know, BET took me in. They showed me mad love. Like, it was different. Like, working with, like, your people is top tier. Yeah. We had meetings every morning. We talking about stuff I'm actually interested in. Everything I'm interested in, we talking about it in the meetings. So it was super dope. And, like, I had OGs who taught me a lot. I had mentors, and they were really focused on, like, pouring into the younger people on the team. Yeah. And one thing about BET, you know, you're working with your people, and it's like, I'm sure you probably can you know, relate. It's like, we're all meeting each other where we're at. Like, say we close to around the same age, and it's like, we met people when they were, like, 25, and, like, maybe they just got their first entry level job into this industry. And now, like, we all growing up, and everybody's doing something. So everybody's not, like, we not where we started, and we're leveling up, and we can also help each other because we have more resources, we have more stay, and, like, you know, we build your community and your peers that grows throughout time. And, you know, I think during BET, like, that was, we definitely had that community there. And everybody, a lot of people from What the Hell worked with me at BET. Wow. Which was amazing.
So seeing you in, like, those different spaces, well, BET, you also said Lifetime, and now WTH Studios, does it feel different now that at a job, you know, you clock in, you know, the check says BET or direct deposit, but now WTH Studios, like, that's yours. So how is there, like, a different feel when things go right and things go wrong? rather than like a job. Like at a job, things can go right and wrong, but it's like, okay, like I'm still coming in the next day. I'm still going to get the direct deposit in 2 weeks. How does that feel now where when you thrive or you don't succeed the way you want, it lands on you?
It's very tough. It's very tough. It's like going back to what we were talking about earlier. It's like you are like the driver of this stuff. You feel me? And it's like you have to like understand, like it's like you got a baby.
Yeah.
It's like you got a baby. You got to take care of your baby every day. No matter if you tired or not. Your baby going to cry. Your baby
cry. It's going to
She going to be starving.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So it's definitely different. And, you know, we still growing. Like, we only like a year into this. But I think we've had some really good success and some cool things happening. And I'm always thinking like long term with everything, like the bigger picture. So, you know, even right now, like we're putting together this movie, this festival. We're putting a lot into it. Our team is like, they're putting a lot of hard work and sacrificing into making this whole thing happen. So, you know, the reward may not even be so much here, but in the future, we can see it. But you got to keep working towards that. And
absolutely.
Yeah, man, it's definitely difficult, but I think it's worth it. And there's a freedom in like knowing like you control your day to day. And there's also the scary part of that.
Exactly. Entrepreneurship at its finest. So what's shifting gears just a little bit? What is a good trait that you have that has allowed you to have the success you've experienced that you would trade for a great one?
So I don't know if I would trade it, but I do think I learned a lot just about just being a leader. But I think I could also do better. Like I'm very like, a lot of times I'm very like in my head. If something's in my head, it gotta come out like how it is in my head. But you know, I work with a lot more people now, so I think I think I'm a good listener. Sometimes people be like, Brennan, you don't listen, or like this and that. So I would definitely just try to just exercise that skill more, listening more, and kind of like, you know, taking more input that can, you know, and being more flexible. I think, you know, we've done a great job, especially when it comes to pivoting and like making things happen under like very stressful circumstances. But I think, you know, just doing a better job and just like learning to learning to step back a little bit and just like, you know, just let
other people steer the boat for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or just also take their input. Do you think that's challenging? Because we both spoke to like the boat stopping, I guess the buck stopping with us. Mm-hmm. Do you think when you're in that position, it's challenging to allow certain advice or allow other people to kind of have the driver's seat? Because when they have it, if something goes wrong, then part of you can be like, well, if it was just me, if I was controlling it, mm-hmm. I'll feel more comfortable with it. So it's hard to be a leader and still take accountability for other people's actions when it's not in line with your own. And I think it sounds like that's what you're speaking to when you're a great leader. But if I listen to people more, that input, I also now have to take accountability for the entirety of my team, even if they do something that I may not have co-signed in the exact way they did it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very difficult. I think it's very difficult because, like, you know, a lot of times I know everything that's happening. Like, I have full, like, context of everything. Like, if I know, like, this guy's coming all the way from, like, Canada to get to the shoot, then we got to do this at this time. Or, like, just you know,
like logistics. Absolutely.
Logistics. Yeah. And, like, I think that it is difficult, but I also learn, like, I have this vision in my head. I think I could do a better job at, like, communicating. This is the vision.
Yeah.
This is what it has to be. I also think a lot of things, as an entrepreneur, a lot of things you kind of just got to go with, and, like, you can't think too much about it.
Yeah, so learn through the failures and figure it out on the go.
Yeah.
And it's hard to communicate that in real time.
In real time, especially when, like, a lot of times things are urgent, time is of the essence. But, you know, I think ultimately, like, it just comes down to just team building and like, I think everyone's opinions matters. I think at the end of the day, everyone's opinion matters.
Do you really think that?
I do, but I also think like I've like going back to like when I say I'm I gotta understand I steer the ship. Even in the past, like a lot of people are just giving me like just bad advice.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's opinion matters, but I define everybody different than maybe other people do. Because like you said, bad advice, people thinking they can do something because they've seen it done, but don't have the experience, where it's like, okay, I like your input is cool, but to me, your opinion may not matter as much as someone else, because the vantage point we're speaking from is different. Like, you've done this, I'm doing this, so your opinion matters to somebody, just not to me in the way you may think it does. And that's hard for anybody to hear, because everybody thinks that their voice, because they have because they have a channel or a platform, or like because we can get cameras and speak, your voice matters, where it's like sometimes your voice doesn't matter, and it's okay to acknowledge that. That doesn't mean you don't have freedom of speech, but that speech shouldn't be as valuable as someone who's put the time in or who has actual credible experience in this lane. So
it's easy to say like this should be this and that, but it's like unless you're actually making this and that happen, then it's like it's not that easy.
And no one knows what they're going to do until they're in the situation. I know we like to quarterback coach or couch quarterback and even a lot of different things in life, but once you get into that field, to that space, that's when we'll know what you will actually do, rather than you telling us from the comfort of your own home.
Exactly.
So WTH started as a movie. So we're speaking about the good trait that not you would trade for a great one, but essentially get better at. And you were speaking about the vantage point of giving people your view on how you want things in a way that's more palatable for them, because there may be a disconnect with that. And I think it's an interesting take, because we're also talking about when you are a leader and you feel these things stop with you, it can be challenging to kind of give stewardship of that baby to someone else, because if it doesn't go well, it still falls on you. And I think we both can connect on that point. So another thing I have to ask you is, WTH started as a movie and now it's a festival. Where's the end goal that would make you feel vindicated? Because obviously the journey started at Vanderbilt TV, and now there's been a few steps. So where does it end for you? Where would you look down and be like, I'm comfortable with where we are and the journey we've taken?
I think that there's a lot of things. I have a lot of goals as far as the festival and the production company. As long as like we just creating dope stuff like that I like, that we like and that relates to us, I'm okay. Like, I want to make big movies one day. Hopefully get that Hollywood budget. You feel me?
Absolutely. Different money there.
I just want to make dope stuff and just make dope content. I want to make dope comedy films, classic comedy films, step into different genres. And even with the festival, like, I want the festival to be, why not be the biggest festival in the world? Why not be, competing with the big festivals? And
yeah, I mean, Rolling Loud started somewhere.
Exactly. So
absolutely.
Yeah, man, those are my goals. But honestly, just to feel like vindicated, I'm actually like, I'm very happy with how things are now. Like, I'm okay. Like, and that's honestly a reason like I started What the Hell, because it's like, to me it means, what the hell means like doing what the hell you want to do and creating what the hell you want to create, regardless of what society thinks about it, or regardless of like what your industry may say you should do, or what works, or like what doesn't work in your industry. And I think like the reason why I made the first What the Hell was because I thought this was funny. I know people would probably watch it and be like, what the hell? But like, that's the point. It's like, It's something I think is cool and I think is authentic to me. And like, I think that's the overall like vision behind What the Hell. It's like, be who the hell you want to be. And like, regardless of whatever people think, or like, regardless of all that stuff, be who you want to be, create what the hell you want to create, and like do what the hell you want to do. Like, yo, tomorrow I might start a farm. I might start raising some chickens and selling some eggs.
And that's what you want to do. That's
what the hell I want to do.
Your mission is.
So, yeah, that's the vision behind it.
Yeah, and I think it's bold to live in that truth of being yourself, because there's a transparency in doing whatever the hell you want to do, because now you're putting yourself in the forefront of people judging your intrinsic desires in the form of, I'm living the way I want to live. So now you also get to see what people think about what you really want to do. And if you found a place where you're at peace with that, I think that is very commendable, because a lot of people go through life never truly living their wildest dreams or what they actually want to do for fear of judgment. Mm-hmm. For people who generally don't care or who don't matter to them or in their lives, but that fear of like social kind of, I guess, constraint and ostracism just allows them to live in those shackles for their entirety of their life and in any of their careers that they find themselves in.
And I think the biggest point, while I feel like I'm vindicated, I'm not satisfied, but I don't need people's approval to say like this is good. Like
you think it's good, so that's
yeah,
exactly.
And another thing I really enjoy about it is like I'm really like I feel like this is helping people. Like it's helping people who never were able to get into like production or something like this. They having their first opportunity, and like shooting this film, we were really in the trenches. Like, yo, so much happened. Like, we're going to make a documentary about the film one day, but it's like so much happened, and a lot of people gained that experience that they wouldn't have got anywhere else. And, you know, we putting people in positions to win. And I feel like, yo, like we said, like, yo, I think your purpose in life should be something that gives value to the world and others. And I feel like that's what the hell is doing. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
If anything, I know I'm doing good in this world and just doing good to others. So
can't be mad at that.
Can't tell me nothing. For real.
That's real. So the last thing I have for you is who is Brandon?
Who is Brandon? Man, that's constantly changing. You know, I'm sure just like you, like throughout the years, we just be growing. We just experiencing life. Like I'm just an individual, like just trying to. I mean, not like I'm in the hood, but it's like we just trying to make it out the hood.
Yeah,
that's my favorite saying.
The proverbial hood. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be the trenches, but whatever you call the hood of trying to better yourself, trying to live your wildest dreams, and whatever that imagination is, can be your hood.
And yeah, man. Other than that, I'm just a chill guy. You know, I be trying to stay low key, out the way, trying to keep it healthy. But yo, for real, I'm just a regular guy, man. Just doing what I think is cool and living, experiencing life.
I can respect that. So I think that's my last question. Do you have anything you want to plug? I know you have the festival coming up in April. Talk to people about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we got the festival coming up. Festival will be April 19th and 20th. The first day is going to be the Temple of Hip Hop. It's a low key gym in the middle of Newark. Yo, y'all gotta check it out. It's like when y'all check out this location, it's fire. It's like a hip hop museum, technically. Like it's super cool. We're gonna have some musical concerts there, media and stuff like that. And on the 20th, that's going down at Cityplex 12 in Newark. You know, Shaq's movie theater. We're gonna be having some screening, some short films. A lot of other dope things are gonna be going on there. And that day will be the big premiere of this film we've been working so hard on. What the Hell Again. It's going to be amazing. We really, this team really did the thing on this film. So make sure y'all come check it out. April 19th and 20th, What the Hell Music and Film Festival, Newark. We doing it big for the city. Let's get it.
Love. Well, yeah,
and follow us at What the Hell Festival, WTH Festival on the gram, at WTH Studios.NJ on the gram. Make sure you follow your boy, B.Radg, B-Radg on the gram.
Yes, sir. Well, my guy, appreciate you for coming out. WTH Studios, live and in color. And that's a wrap. Yeah. I'm Yoru. That's Brandon. And this is ITV. And we will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.